elaborate a little bit on what Michael was saying about the Crunch Retreat, and also in a webinar like this, you not only kind of get to ask your questions, but you get to listen to other questions and other comments from other customers. And that is very helpful kind of to learn what other people are doing as well. And the interaction at the Crunch Retreat, you know, Matt, I can see Matt there, he's been to one, so he can tell you that they're excellent and they're fun. So without further ado, I'm going to start talking, and then any questions you have, you can kind of text, and Michael will be the guy that will ask me the questions. All right. So I want to start off by, you can see my screen here, and I have every module that we have in the system, I have enabled. So some of the things that are kind of not enabled by default are rentals and repair orders. If you have rentals, you know, it's something that you could start to use right away. Repair orders, kind of the same thing. You know, they're both available to you. The other things that I wanted to point out that maybe some people are not, you know, we have also, depending on your tier, your package, you can also take advantage of the B2B portal. This is something that we developed and we're constantly improving on. And this system basically is an integrated customer portal for your B2B customers. Okay, so what I mean by B2B is that you already have a relationship. They typically pay, you know, by credit, by AR, you know, accounts receivable or PO or something like that. Although we do accept also credit cards and ACH with order time pay. And if you don't know anything about order time pay, definitely ask about that. That's our payment system. So this is a good system where your customers can actually log in and you know, not only look at the products that you have available, including what you may have in stock, but you can kind of filter those more. There's 3 ways to filter. There's a customer aliases. You got your categories, and so you can really filter what the customer sees, and the price that they see is based on the price levels in order time. Okay, so there's no, you know, and all this configuration happens within order time itself. Okay, so I definitely encourage you to take a look at that. The other thing that I want to make sure that everybody knows about is the mobile tool for warehousing. You know, the ability to pick, pack, and ship a purchase order. A sales order. To receive a purchase order, to find inventory, to do a bin move, to do a transfer, to pick work order components, to do a count. So I definitely encourage y'all to do that and to see how that can improve your business. Do we have a question? When will order question?
Oh, yeah. I was queuing up my question for later. You don't have to answer it now.
Okay. All right. All right.
You want me to start asking?
Yeah, you can interrupt me. I'm kind of until someone has questions. I'm just gonna keep on talking. So you better interrupt me if you have a question.
Well, let me just answer Alice real quick. For the next Q&A session, we'd like to get back on a monthly cadence for this. For the webinars in general, they'll have different topics, but we are going to try to do a general Q&A session in between topics that are important. After every release, we try to also run a webinar about the new features from the release. So we'll definitely be doing that as well. So it'll be interspersed. There won't always be a Q&A session every single month. The question that Matt Crossley had asked was on order time pay, when will we be able to have the hardware to take credit cards in person, like the tap, etc.? And when will we be able to block saving credit cards per customer rather than a global setting? The customer blocking customer per like credit cards per customer rather than a global setting is actually being done by the devs right now. Like we're in the process of creating that functionality and adding that in. Don't know if I want to give dates on that. We're aiming for our next full release. Normally beginning of November, but don't quote that because like we're trying to get a lot of features in. For the actual terminals though, Full Steam is creating a white glove system for the terminals so that they have basically certain models that you guys get and that we can have all the testing done for order time pay done on those. They're aiming for a Q1 launch for that for 2026. I know that that might be disappointing to some, but we've gotten a lot of features out for order time pay over the last, I think it's only been not even a full year yet since its inception. And yeah, that's one of the ones that we're definitely aiming for. There's a lot of customers like yourself that have asked for it, and this will give you the ability to tap and chip and swipe, and it'll also, we're aiming for Google Pay and Apple Pay as well. Let's move on to one for you, Ian. Can we customize the unsyncing permissions, like the permissions behind, I'm guessing unsyncing with the accounting?
Yeah, you can, I guess. Basically in the roles, you're going to go, and what we have is in each role, we have this kind of checkbox here. So if that's checked, they can sync, unsync, even if they're not an admin. Sorry, if it's checked. If it's unchecked, they're not going to be able to sync.
Or unsync. And then when will we be able to select multiple items in a bin to move them?
Multiple items at the same time. You mean move an entire bin?
Yeah, with your question, Max, do you yeah, you can speak.
I really find it like if I'm in a bin and I need to move 5 items in a bin, to select each end of, to keep repetitively doing it is a lot of work, and also creating an Excel sheet is a lot of work. I just want to be able to go into a bin, see everything that's in there, and click like the 7 items and say move these to there.
Okay. Are you using mobile or are you using this here?
I'm using this and mobile. I haven't played with yet because I'm having an issue with Google sign-on. I have to get the other app.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you could put in, you don't have to put one at a time. You put in is this for your because you have lot numbers or serial numbers?
We use IMEI numbers.
Oh, okay.
So unfortunately, everything's as an individual item.
That is a, yeah. So that is so you want to kind of drag a group of IMEIs or serial numbers and okay. So let's put that as a feature. That's something in the feature request that we can. Gonna have to get to Harold so you can take a look at that.
Yeah, and Max, just so that you know, this is very similar to at the Crunch Retreat. We also take in requests like this, and usually there's about 40 or so that get done afterwards after the Crunch Retreat because everyone has a specific use case, and
there is a little trick if you want to know that little trick.
I would love it. You can email it to me or show it to me. I would be honored.
I'm going to say that I'm going to tell you that there is a little trick using the adjustments.
Okay.
Okay, because if I do a bin move, I'll just show you real quick here. What happens at the end of the day is in fact a bin move or an adjustment. So we can, let's make maybe a ticket for them and we can show them how to do that. Maybe it's easier for them to do a raw adjustment instead of a bin move until we get that feature going.
The problem with the raw adjustment is putting it back into another bin. You have to scan all those serial numbers again and add individually one quantity for all those items.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we can definitely take a look at that. Thank you for that item.
For can we customize the unsyncing permissions, which now enables users that have been granted permission to unsync all actions? However, we'd like to customize it to only allow unsyncing within modules or specific transactions like work orders. Is there any?
I believe that's a feature request already in there.
Gotcha.
We don't have it. We don't have that. No. Not,
Okay.
not by module. Not at this time.
Unsyncing by document type.
Because it's usually, if you think about it, you know, if they don't want, if you don't want them to touch QuickBooks, it's kind of like a global thing, right?
Gotcha. Will the order time paid terminals interact with order time in marking something paid when a payment is received, and will that be manual? It will mark it paid. It will mark it paid when it's selected within that interface. It's almost like you're choosing the order from which it originates, and then you're doing the swipe, and then it does mark it paid. It marks the order paid.
Yeah.
We're currently using all orders with some custom integrations enabled via ODBC. We're looking to move to order time and are trying to figure out the best way to accomplish this migration. Would it be able to set up ODBC connections with order time, or would it all be migrated to API? I think you might have answered your own question.
Yeah. For security purposes, I mean, when you had all orders, it was your server, your database. No one can get into it, you know, et cetera, et cetera. It was your local area network. With order time, it's a cloud environment, and we lock that down like it's like no tomorrow. We don't want anybody kind of, you know, going into the raw database at all. So yeah, the answer is API. And a lot of our customers is to, you know, have done the work to convert. It's generally more of kind of the gets, you know, the getting the information, and it's worked out quite well. I mean, it takes a little time to, but the advantage of working directly with the API is that, well, you know, as opposed to directly in the database, is that it goes through the business rules. So you're not gonna, you know, inadvertently insert or delete something by mistake directly in the database. You go through the API, it's kind of basically going through the business rules.
Okay. Yeah, Alice, for yours, I think we answered that. We're gonna, you know, check into a feature request, but for right now, no. The next question was, when receiving items with the mobile app, for the parts that are being replenished, it would be nice if the mobile app would suggest a bin that already has that part or item. Are there any plans to do that?
Well, you mean other than the default bin that's already on the item?
Yeah, it seems like he wants it to suggest a bin that already has that, almost like rather than the default bin.
It's an interesting business case. Yeah, I mean, we can take a look at this. It's not available right now, but it could be an option, maybe, like you know, so right now when you receive an item and the thing, it gives you the default bin. So that's the bin that you have on the item, or it's a default bin of the location. So you're saying if you want that to be one of the bins that it's already in, I don't think that's a problem. So we'll take a look at that in terms of the feature requests for mobile.
All right. QuickBooks Online allows for up to 10 custom fields on the QBO Advanced plan. Will order time update the knowledge base on the mapping topic? Also, the list of available fields are limited. Can more fields be added to the map?
All right. So, and this has been for the second question, we got to ask QuickBooks for that.
Yeah.
They only give us access to 3. The reason is because only the, you know, in the background, the advanced kind of adds 7, but in the background for the API, it's the first 3 strings that we integrate based on the date of those of the creation date. It's the first 3 in that list that we integrate with. I thought
So QBO, yeah, offers 10, but we only can connect to 3, the top 3. Yeah.
Because that's a
I remember
limitation.
that.
That's a limitation of QuickBooks, not of order time. We would love to integrate with more, but they only offer us three through the API at this time.
Yeah, and Aurelio, let me look at the OTKB and check that article. Maybe it hasn't been updated in a bit, and I'll refresh it. But yeah, it's more of an Intuit limitation that they're putting on us.
Yeah, but just let you know, a little side, it took about 7 months to get them on the phone to help us troubleshoot which in fact in that list is being synchronized. So it's the first 3 strings based on the date that they were created.
Gotcha. Cindy asked more of a basic question about like syncing and unsyncing. Like, why would a user sync and unsync something, like versus just like either having it scheduled like to sync, or like what would the reasoning be behind unsyncing or syncing something individually by user?
By user, if let's say you have a user that's both an accounting user and an order time user, they may look at something in QuickBooks and say, this is not correct. Pricing is not correct, customer, whatever it is. So the rule of thumb is if you create something in order time, it should be edited or fixed. If it's wrong, it should be fixed in order time. Not in QuickBooks, but in order time. So that's why we have the ability to undo an invoice, which basically deletes the invoice, fix it, change the status back to shipped or closed, and it goes back into QuickBooks. So that's the reason, if there's a mistake in QuickBooks, why someone would undo it.
For the e-commerce integration, will order time be able to push data to the e-com platform like price changes, or is it only ever going to be one-sided? I think, yeah, it's
Shopify, we do have the ability to update products and pricing. I'm not sure about the other ones, but Shopify we do. And the idea basically is, and we even have for certain, we can even limit the items that are updated, the inventory that are updated to a certain subgroup of items, not every item, for example. So, if we can show you how to do that, send a ticket and we'll go into that. But it's basically, your price levels. When you create a certain type of price level, I think it's this one over here. You can see this order source, and that order source is basically your Shopify's or your e-commerce. And whatever items are on here, those are the only items that will update.
All right.
The price, and I think I'm not sure, I think there's a setting to also do the cost. So send us a ticket on that, and we'll give you, and we probably do a KB on this one as well.
Yeah. When moving to order time pay, is there a way to retain existing credit card data? And I think the answer to this one, correct me if I'm wrong, Ian, is if you're using the other way that we retain credit card data before with the tab, our developers can tokenize it for you when you move over to order time pay. You just have to send us a ticket about that.
Correct. There's a one-time routine that we can run that basically will create all the tokens for the customer, for the existing credit cards you have in all orders or order count for that matter.
Is there any update on the Avalara integration?
Yeah, there is. We're doing well on that. We're about, I would say about 75% through that. We still got some troubleshooting to do, and so I'm looking by the end of the year to have that in the update. So we're working on that. It's going well. it's going well. And things like, validating the address, because validating every time you do something in Avalara, they charge you. So we want to, kind of make sure that we're not always having to validate the address and things like that so those types of things are a little tricky. And those are the fine tuning things that we're kind of working. We already got it working. It's already going to Avalara. We just kind of, and it's pretty close to beta, pretty close. So yeah, we might kind of sneak something in there on the next update and give a few people the ability. If you want, if not already done, that you sent us a notification that you're interested in that, please do. So that way I can kind of add you to, beta program or something like that.
All right. And Max, was this a separate question about the scanning on the mobile app for the IMEI numbers, or?
Yeah, so for the inventory, I need it to basically be like we're auditing. I need to be able to send the staff in with the app and just completely go ahead and just start scanning what we have and compare about it. Right now, this loading, unloading, pulling down it for count, it's not true audit. I need like an audit.
Okay. I mean, I think the count, have you filtered? Do you filter by item, by bin?
Yeah, so I filtered by the bin. So I took the whole B zone of the whole company. And what happened was it's telling me what to scan, not the other way around. I want my guys to run through, scan every IMEI that's there, and then go and say, this is what was scanned, this is what's supposed to be here, this is what's not actually here.
Okay, it could work that way. Let's set up maybe a training with Harold, guys. Let's do that so we can we can show them. I think there's a way to only scan the IMEI. I have to check, and all the IMEIs are unique, right? So
yes,
there should be an option there.
Because when I used the app, it brought up the item it wanted me to scan. So then I have to go find it. Whereas I want to just straight out scan and blow through the whole aisle and then go and look for what I'm missing. So yeah, that was not good. So what I had to do was download it into Excel, create a scan field, and have everybody just start scanning and have it read in code if it matches.
All right. Well, that's a good, if it's something that we need to take a look at, we shall do it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I just notated it down too, so that we could potentially get you in with Harold about it as well.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
Right. The next one, Sophia, is there a way to look at bins that are empty, see a list of bins and what's in every bin, and filter to show which bins are empty?
Which bins are empty?
Mm-hmm.
That is a good question. There is a way of doing that, but it's a bit trickier. It's not a straight up report because we only show stuff in inventory. Otherwise it'd be, I can probably get you like a script or something like that, maybe a custom report that we can do that kind of, another subject about custom reports. We can do custom reports. Like basically it's two pieces of data that have to be joined together. We don't do it because if we show every bin, frankly, it'll slow down the system. So we only show inventory that have, bins that have inventory in it. But what we could do potentially is we could create maybe a customized report that gives you that data pretty quickly. A customized report is not that bad. We can, if you give us kind of a sample of a custom report, as long as the data is in the system, doesn't matter whether it's on the sales order, purchase order, we can kind of join it together and make one report. We can do training. We offer training. We offer what's called automation rules, which is, let's say, you want to prevent something from happening, like when something is, check this when you change status, or like a custom report or a custom template. So we can definitely do that piece on a custom report.
Yeah, and you can send in a support ticket specifically for that, and we'll work on it with you.
Okay. So the other thing is, if you know, I mean, obviously with the API, you can kind of do it as well, but you'd have to have a little bit more technical. Just basically bring down the full list of bins and then join that list with inventory list, and you'll have it. That's what we would do basically in a custom report anyway.
The next. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to
Go
cut
ahead.
you
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Is there a feature request to enable or disable custom fields for different item classifications? I'm selling shoes and shirts and I want to add product specs for each, but I don't want to see shoe size on the hat item. I don't want to see brim length on the shoe item. Perhaps not a class, but maybe an item category. Like, is there a way to not show a certain custom field for certain types of items, basically?
No, because the entire item list goes into one, big table. And right now, at least, we don't have that capability. I've seen a request for it, but we don't have that capability at this time.
Zach, I will add that to the document though. Like I want to, research if there is some type of workaround for the future. I've seen it asked a couple times, but that's the reasoning why not. The next one was from Ryan. Good to see you too, Ryan. Do you know if there are plans to be able to ship from multiple locations from a single sales order? So basically, can we have multiple ship docks with different locations, but coming from the same SO? Yeah, I know that is possible. Yeah.
Well, that's I think a feature request already. I don't know when we're going to get to it, but it definitely, like, when you do a ship dock, we want to, and the ship dock has no location in it. We want to, like, let's say, pop up just a list of locations, which location you want to ship from. They'll take you through a little bit of a wizard and it'll create the ship dock. Yeah. So that's definitely something. If it's not already in the sprint, Michael, I think that one let's make a note. Let's make sure to add it to
this. Just a question to you from me about that. If he did the select items to ship like off the sales order, and then so now he's got his ship dock and he just changes the address. I mean, that's like a workaround, but obviously not the best.
The other workaround, you're right. The other workaround is basically to create the ship dock with the proper location, and then use the select item to ship from the ship dock. That'll work as well.
Oh,
so
okay.
If I have a sales order, right? Let's see if I have a sale. This is a good question.
Ian's just excited he can show something now on the screen.
People have seen me do this 100 times, I'm sure. So the thing is that this has, well, let me get, because this already has a location. So you want to leave the location, which you can. You can leave the location blank, right, on a sales order. So if I have two items on two, now I'm gonna change this customer because this customer has so many sales orders open. It's not even funny. Just sit down. And so we changed the customer, approved. I do the first ship dock for that customer. And I'm going to pick, let's say, whatever, another location. All right. So here is the last two I did. Let's say I want to ship that one from that location. All right. So that will go out of that location. All right. New ship dock, different location this time. Oops.
And I know Ian's going a little fast, but you're all going to get the recording after this, so you can you can like pause and see what he was doing as he's doing it. Clicking the add items from open sales order button, choosing the other item. Now he's got the other item with a different location. Ryan.
So now,
Yeah, it's got the location there. Okay, so and then yeah, see now off the sales order, you can see both ship docks, the two separate locations, and you've got it set up the way you want it.
did everybody see this? That they can do? You can do like this now. Bam, bam. Right. Create ship dock.
Oh yeah, as a batch action. So that's selecting the sales orders off the sales order list, choosing batch action, and creating the ship dock directly off them with the batch action dropdown. And you can also batch change statuses. I think that we have an article on that, but that might need some sprucing too. Batch action.
We're doing well. Next question.
All right. The next one is from Kurt. For the B2B portal, can a portal user be linked to multiple accounts using one email address? I think this was submitted as a feature request in the past, but I'm not 100% sure. That's what he's saying.
The thing is that, you know, if it's the same email, which customer are we going to put them into? So the email has to be unique for the customer, I think.
Yeah, because this is the email they log in with.
We may be able to, yeah, I mean, how do we know which customer they're going to log into when they log into the portal?
The only way I could think of is if we add, you know how when two emails are selected to two different order time company files, you get the selector of which one you're choosing for. It would be like adding that function to the B2B portal. When they log in, you have a selector, but it would be a feature request though, Kurt. Probably.
So basically you would show the customer that you have two portals essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be showing them that you've got the two to pick from.
I mean, yeah, it's possible. Yeah, it's possible. Sure. Yeah, it's possible. That's possible. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm adding that Kurt as to the feature request column. Put it as like a selector
because
for company.
usually people just have one email, stuff like that. But
or if it's a distributor or someone buying from you and they'd have two different domains, one for the one company, one for the other, like Kurt at this and Kurt at that, Any plans to integrate to Walmart or Amazon?
Yes. Yeah, we do have, I mean, right now the easiest solution would be to, let's say, to use like let's say you have Shopify. You can bring those orders in from Amazon and Walmart to Shopify, and then we'll bring them in from Shopify. So that's one. We do have some functionality for FBA fulfillment by Amazon, but not Marketplace because we're working on it. They have a whole bunch of restrictions.
Yeah. And the next question was, do you have any CRM apps that can be integrated with order time? Like at this time we're talking to a few, but we don't have any that have a direct native integration with order time. If you have suggestions for that too, Nicole, I do suggest putting in a ticket, and for the support people who are on this call, if a ticket comes in about CRM apps and integrations like that, just send that my way, please.
Well, we've had a lot of people integrate with either through Zapier, right?
Yeah, they can use Zapier.
They can use Zapier or directly through the API. The reason we don't do it is because there are some, I'm not talking about marketing features, but some CRM features in order time already. So we don't have like a fully blown integration with the CRM.
And just to further the Zapier side of the conversation, there's been customers in the past that use Pipedrive and CRMs like that, and they've fully connected Zapier so that when they create the sales order in Pipedrive, it creates the sales order in order time. So that all is possible. If you want more information about Zapier, we have articles on it in the KB area, but we also have you can send in a ticket, and we have Mike Penna is our consultant who can, help you if you want to do some step-by-step on a particular like piece of data that you want going from order time to it or going from it to order time. The next question, Ian, is in our reporting, sales order and ship docs live in separate tables, which means we currently need to run 2 different reports to get a complete picture of all open orders because our order flow is a bit atypical. Open orders can sit in either the sales order table, processing or approved, or in the ship doc, processing, dispatched, or shipped. Would you consider creating a report that combines both the sales order and ship doc tables into one view? And I believe this would end up being a custom report, but he says this would let us track all the open orders in a single report, regardless of where they are in the workflow.
The question I have for you is, does everything have a sales order?
Eric, you can respond.
It does. Everything has a sales order.
So basically, you have a bunch of ship docs that are just pending, and you want to see that as well.
Yeah, because our flow is a little atypical. We have a 3PL who we submit all of our orders to for fulfillment. And so when we receive a PO from a customer, we create a sales order. Once the order has been submitted to our 3PL, we mark it as approved and create a ship doc in the processing status. Once we have another player in this kind of triangulation who schedules all of our freight. And so once they've scheduled freight, they will flip the order from the ship doc from processing to dispatched. And once we have a signed copy of the outbound BOL, they will flip the order from dispatched to shipped, attach the signed outbound BOL, and send the invoice to the customer. So it's kind of we have a little bit of a love triangle going on with our fulfillment, in that we have a 3PL warehouse where the goods are physically where they live and are fulfilled from. And then we also have a freight broker who coordinates all of the LTL shipments.
So just as a temporary, as opposed to an alternative to a custom report, which we can definitely do, would it make sense to know if you knew the ship doc status on the sales order list? Would that make a difference for you? Because then you can fill in on that column.
So you would just create another column to pull down the ship doc status into the sales order.
Yeah.
That's temporary fix. I think the optimal solution would be a custom report for us.
Okay.
So maybe I'll open a support ticket about that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Please do. Please do.
You're very welcome.
That's okay.
No, that's a custom, we can do a custom automation, which is a little bit less involved than a whole report. Is that we can say that every time the ship doc status changes from a connected sales order, we can put that status on the sales order list as well. That's a custom automation.
So that's an option as well.
Let me talk with the team internally and see the power user who would be on that feature the most. I'll see if they have a preference between the automation or a custom report.
Okay.
All right.
At this point,
And
it can be done, sometimes through custom automation rule, we can get this a lot of data and a lot of functionality.
the next thing, yeah, don't worry about that, Zach. Whether it's hats or shirts, we got that. Mike, the API documentation for endpoints like sales orders, ship docs, or work orders references GET requests. GET requests expect a parameter of doc number or type. Is there a way to get lists of documents by other parameters? like, can I pull a list of sales orders with a certain date, or pull a list of sales orders for a given customer?
Yeah. Who's asking that question?
This is Micah Steinbach.
So all these are gets. You're right about that. However, you can use the list, and that will call the get for a bunch of orders at the same time. Okay. And there's a special parameter in the list info, which is, called include line items, or include line item details if you're allocating those. So using the list, you can basically filter through the API almost as the way you're filtering here, by customer, by date, by whatever you want. So working with the lists, this right here is what we should be looking at.
All right. Anything additional to that, Micah, that you want to say on microphone?
No, that answers it. Thank you very much.
Okay, perfect. Jeff says, when can we get item pictures, like item images, to show in the bill of materials list? Bill of materials list.
You mean the components? No, that ticket. I've tried to do it. It would require like a real different kind of function that I'd have to write and kind of restructure that entire thing. So I'm not quite sure. It's a very specific ask. So that could be custom report. I would have to take a look at it.
Jeff, you might want to send a ticket on that one.
We have it.
We have the ticket.
Look at he has tickets on that. So let's look at.
Thank you, Jeff. Antonio, does order time fill a line item from the bin that has available, even though it's not the default? That's his first question. Does order time fill a line item from the bin that has available inventory, even though it's not the default?
It will always should go to, it goes in like a first in, first out, right? That's the way it works. So yes, the answer is it may pull things out of the default first now, or default. But what we could do, I believe there is, like, always use the default bin first. See that, Tony? You want to check that. So pull from the default bin first, then do the rest of it. Okay?
All right. I lost my place for a second. Trying to get back up to. And then is there a way to filter inactive items when using customer item price level?
I think we added that. Just recently, did we not?
I remember something about it, yes.
I believe it's something that we've added.
Filtering inactive items when using customer item price level.
Isn't this active right here? Oh, to filter.
Yeah, to filter. Yep.
To filter. We can. I mean, I guess we can put something here to show active or something like that, right? Like a little checkbox, and that would filter it. No, right now, no. But you can export it and import it. Possible, I think, through the reports. Get a report on that. You can do a report on the price levels. And, filter it by active or inactive as well. We know how to do that.
Maybe run through that.
So this is a price level list.
Yeah, I know how to do the report thing, but I was thinking more about when you are managing the list itself, because we have a lot of inactive items for a brand because they change a lot. So
I mean, what we could do is,
because that filter inactive and active that you see in there is for it's not a filter, it's a
what we
status
could
of
do,
the
what we
price
could do
level
is just
itself,
run a
but it's
script to
not for the
delete.
item.
We can try
Yeah,
to
you're
delete
right.
all-
You're right.
Maybe we can delete all the inactives so you won't see them on the price list. Anyways, that's something that we can maybe do in the short term for
Yeah.
you. You know, it's,
Okay.
I know you don't, if the item is not active, it really doesn't need to be in a price level, so we can just remove them, right? Agreed? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the next
In
one,
any case, if it has to be active, then you active and recalculate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly. Just re-edit it. Yeah, exactly.
and then the will item summary data, like the on hand or available, ever become sortable, like a sortable field versus going into the item level to see the data or running a count?
What do you mean by sort? I don't understand that question.
Terry, do you want to come onto the microphone?
Sorry. Because all that, oh,
Yeah, your question was it the? Oh no, not Carrie. It's Terry Roberts.
Sorry.
I don't know if Terry's still here. But the way they posed the question was, will item summary data, like on hand or available, ever become available as a sortable field versus having to go into the item level to see that data or running a count? So
go to the inventory. It's really the inventory valuation. Inventory status by location has all that data.
right, because you can go to inventory status by location, the list, add those columns that you need, and then filter.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
So all that is in this list. Allocated, in production, available, on order, all of that summary information is on this inventory status by location list.
Okay. Hopefully they'll see the recording after this and then can see that. The next question, is there a way to pull from the bin with the oldest lot number first? In our case, it would be the smaller number, like lot 1884 is older than 1956. So can we pull from the bin with the oldest lot number first?
The oldest lot number based on the expiration date. Yes, that's the whole point of the expiration date.
Okay.
But it doesn't go off the string, the lot number name, right? There's two things, that the key, which is this, right? Lot or serial number. And then, but we use a date as opposed to trying to figure out what this, alphanumeric sort that. We do it by date. So if you wanted to do that, you can import, export this list with the ID method and change your expiration dates, probably. And then it'll sort it by first in, first out, the oldest first.
Mm-hmm. Even if the item itself doesn't really expire, like it's not like a food and beverage corp or something like that, they could just use the expiration date to do that.
So sorry, could I use the expiration date as like the day it was received?
Yeah.
Just to sort it that way, even though that date passes, the item's not gonna like get deleted or anything, right?
No. And
It's
by
just a means
default,
of
it is.
sorting.
By default, it is the date received. By default.
Okay. Okay, got it. Thanks.
Nice. Okay. Are there any plans to make it easier to select item bins being pulled from on sales orders or when selecting a bin when manually receiving items on a purchase order? Make it easier to select item bins being pulled from.
I mean, the easiest way of I understand what you're, because you have to manually like add and stuff like that. The absolutely easiest way is to use mobile, because then you're scanning the bin, right? So we do have plans to kind of refresh the UI next year, and we can take a look at that, you know, what you have in mind in terms of making it easy. We are going to make it easier. So the idea behind the refresh of the UI is to reduce the amount of clicking. So that's the primary thing, you know, improve performance, of course. Always we try to do that, and make it more user friendly for, you know, picking like a bin, an item, and things like that. So yeah.
Okay. Does creating batch ship docs from sales orders on that sales order list create separate ship docs or combine the ones that you selected?
It depends on your preference.
Okay, let's show that preference.
You got add items to unshipped ship doc having the same customer location, added to unshipped ship doc with the same sales order, or always create a new ship doc.
And this takes in this rule when you do that batch action from the list.
Correct.
Okay. So that's the answer for you for that one, Sophia.
I think.
Um,
But yeah, it should be like that, I think. But you know what? Let's just make sure of that. But yeah, it should. It all goes through the same rules. Yeah, it all goes through the same.
All right. I'll put this down for these preferences. And that's in the shipping section inside the preferences, Sophia.
Yep.
Shipping preferences. And then Ryan, yeah, no problem for the workaround. Okay, the next question was, anytime I want to edit a kit group, I get an error. Your request cannot be processed due to a critical error. Can you ever edit the kit group after creation? I don't mean edit the kit. That works with no issues, but it's the kit group.
We need to see that your clicks in terms of when you get that error. That's a SQL, usually a database error or something like that. So let's see what you're doing, and maybe it's something that's like a piece of data that's stopping you, or so. Yeah, we got to take a look at that. I mean, you should be able to move the kit groups up and down. You should be able to make them inactive. Generally, you're not deleting them. You should just make them inactive if they've been used already, for example. But yeah, let's take a look. Let's you know, get a ticket off of that one, and with the error message, so we can do a little research on that.
Gotcha. Kurt had clarified about the B2B portal user email thing. He's like, what if it's a corporate buyer and he's buying for multiple branches? Yeah, we'll look into that, Kurt, about the selector for the B2B portal for when they're logging in.
And he's buying for multiple branches. Are they one customer with multiple addresses? If that's the case, he can do it. Now, if you're using jobs or
but he's got the one email. The buyer only has the one email.
So, but if he's logging into the same customer, and that customer has multiple shipping addresses, then that's the solution right there, because he only needs one customer. But the customer
with multiple addresses.
Yes, as opposed to multiple customers, which some people set it up that way.
Okay, Kurt, if you want to turn on your microphone, you can add to that. Or I can try to.
All right, let's go to the next one. We can get a little bit more info from Kurt.
Yeah, it was multiple. It's multiple accounts, multiple customers in. It's multiple accounts in order time, but it's we have like a parent-child relationship for our accounts. So the buyer would be corporate, but he'd be buying and putting in purchase orders for multiple accounts, which end up being multiple branches.
Is it all the same billing address?
Sometimes, but sometimes not.
Okay, I mean,
You might want to send in a ticket for that one so that we can investigate that
well,
specific.
I mean, what we've had a lot of, like, if you come from QuickBooks, for example, you know, that's kind of one of the solutions. You just create the hierarchical, right? The jobs or sub accounts, whatever you want to call them. In order time, you know, we like to use multiple shipping addresses. That's way it's under one account, even though if the address can change, but it's one account, one customer that's paying, then that solution may work. If it's not that scenario that you have, you know, multiple customers with really different customer LLCs or Incs or corporations, then that might not work. So that's what you have to look at. If it's that one corporate entity that's basically collecting all the money, doesn't matter what the billing address is, it's the entity that matters.
Okay.
And then
And we have done some work, by the way, for other customers that have set that up in QuickBooks that way, you know, 70 sub accounts. And you can merge them. You can merge, and we can do it for you, like as a data project. So merge them all under one customer and have all those addresses, and then that's it. You know, that one person could basically, which address am I shipping this order to, and that's it.
Yeah, I believe the reason that we have, instead of doing just one account with multiple ship addresses, I think it was a deal where a reporting issue that we needed them all separated.
Okay.
And Matt, your question about Zapier for the sales orders and ship docs, we have a separate, like, it's kind of like a beta version of it. Send in a ticket about that for Zapier, and we can have you hooked to that one to play around with sales orders and ship docs. The regular Zapier, you're right, is contacts, customers, leads, and tasks. But we do have an advanced version. It's more of a beta, but we've used it for a few customers. And just send us in a ticket asking about Zapier, and like it's called, I believe, 1.1 versus 1.0, and we'll get you set up with that. I think we'll do one more question, Ian, from Paige, and then the rest of the questions, what I think I'm going to do is batch them, and we'll either answer them via the email blast, or we'll send you a form so that we can get those answered. Obviously, with the amount of people on the call, and an hour is not enough to answer every single one.
Well, maybe we could maybe make it a little bit longer next time.
Yeah. But we'll batch the questions together and have the answers on the email blast that goes out after. But the one that we'll finish on is Paige's, where she's sending bulk emails to customers through the batch action. But her account, her email address is not the one she wants to email them from. When trying to do a batch of emails, they all come from her email address. If she wants them to come from the company email, does she need to just log in under that account, or is there another way that she can do that when she's doing batch email?
Batch email is the UI, right?
Yeah.
So it's part of the UI. So when you're sending emails, alerts, so you're saying that you want the batch to potentially be able to use the default email. Is that what you're saying?
She wants it to use, yeah, one of the company emails.
Right. So basically saying, instead of, so in here, you maybe, like we have in the, you know, in here where you can specify what you're asking for is, you can specify this, right? Which email you want this on the batch email sender as well.
Correct.
Exactly.
Drop down.
I could only get it to work by doing them one by one, which
Yeah.
But want to do it in batch. Yeah.
So basically So basically what we want to do, just so we know what the feature request is going to look like, we want to put in that same drop down here, the from, if that condition is met. Okay.
And I just added the entire question to the feature request list page. for that one, because that'll be adding that from right there when you're doing the batch action.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna copy all the rest of the questions from Matt Crossley's
let's try
down.
to get maybe Celia or someone, Christina can maybe look at those, sit down, and answer them one by one so everybody can get their answer on that, on the questions. I'll happy to go through with them.
Sounds good. And we've got all your names, and so we know who to reach out to for the individual questions. We'll try to get a good amount of them answered so that they can be shoved into the email blast, but if not, we'll at least answer you individually.
I was hoping to see the answer to Ryan's question. Is there a way I can get added on to the response to his?
Which one was that?
It's two or three minutes from where we left off about sending invoices to multiple emails on the billing email address field.
Okay.
Multiple emails. On the path.
Yeah, so the scenario is that we often need to send an invoice to multiple email addresses, but right now the order time only allows one email address in the billing field, the billing email address field.
Oh.
So that way it automatically flows over from the customer into this.
So we have the customer. So that's a user group. The contact is what is on the, all the contacts.
Mm-hmm.
I can select multiple and send them like that. You know what I mean? Is that what you're after?
I see that. I think I'm trying to interpret Ryan's question. You can jump in, but I had the same one. Like at the customer level, if you pull up a customer profile.
You mean to put a semicolon in here?
Yeah. Does that work if on the exactly right there? Can you put a semicolon and add another email?
The thing is that it's not a valid email, right? If I put in a colon over here or whatever, so we try to validate that this is a proper email. No, I guess we got to do something about this because so many people have asked for that, despite the fact that we do have the contacts already. But I understand why it's easier to do that.
Yeah, I would say
there's some accounts that have multiple email addresses for ours.
I was going to say, I've had customers show me that they trick the system by doing the semicolon and no space between the emails, and it works.
Yep, correct. I can verify that.
All right.
And I don't know if it's only
it beats the validation.
Yeah, I don't know if it's only certain QuickBooks accounts or what the deal is, but if you don't have a space after the semicolon, it seems to beat the error.
Oh, okay. I'll test it. So it's at the customer level on the billing address email. I can just list one email, semicolon, no space, another email.
That seems to be working. Kurt, you said that's working for you guys?
Yep, we do that all the time.
There you go. See, now this is what I'm talking about, like group think. It's like we solved the problem together. Great, love it.
I like it.
I have a question. Has anyone tried to do that on the sending the automated email?
It should work. It should work because we actually use the semicolon as a separator, so it should work.
Are you talking about for the alerts?
No, for when you're like sending, say, a purchase order and you're sending it to the customer, how you can send, I guess, automated to them, like when you're going to email.
Oh, okay. I'm following you. I know that if it's multiple email addresses, you can't have the space in there.
So if there's no space, but just a semicolon, then it'll still work, right?
Right, because I saw someone set up an email template, and they had the CC line, and they had a space between their.
That works. You see that? Now, if I do an email, let's do that. So. Yeah, there it is.
Perfect. That solves my problem.
Nice.
All right. I'm going to cut the recording there. I've saved all the additional questions. I'll send that through to support, and then we'll try to get those pumped out in the, if we don't get the questions done prior to the email with the recording, I'll just send another email to the list of all of you who have signed up for this webinar that has the answers also. Like it'll either be in the email with the recording, or it'll be another follow-up email. So it's like having 2 follow-ups to this webinar, but it works. We'll get all the questions asked and answered.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you. I
you all
hope
for
everybody
attending.
enjoyed. Have a good rest of your Wednesday.
Have a good one.